Hey guys, I'm back this week with another real-time recipe for you, and this week we're making eggs for dinner. I love having eggs for dinner. It is my go-to fast food. And the reason I like them is because they're quick, they're nutritious, and cheap. So for the amount of time that you would probably spend microwaving one of those little microwavable meals, they take anywhere from 5 to 7 minutes, you can make this meal instead and you will be so much happier, I promise. Okay, so we're gonna start. So first thing we're gonna do is get our pan heated up, medium-low flame, and we're gonna melt some butter. So I really like to use butter whenever I cook with eggs, only because eggs and oil just never really work that well, and it just is gonna taste better too, so you have a lot of flavor. If you're trying to cut back on calories, just don't use as much. See, like I'm not even gonna use this whole thing. I'm just gonna make sure that I have everything well greased, and you'll see why when I show you my technique in a minute, and then we'll just scoop out what we don't need. There, okay. Then we are going to scramble our eggs. So this time around, I decided to have the eggs all ready to go, just because I didn't want you guys to have to wait while I crack the eggs and then go wash my hands. So when you're thinking about how long this recipe is gonna take, just add another 30 to 40 seconds on top, okay? So we're gonna scramble those up, and then we are gonna pour them into our pan. Now, when it comes to pans, I am a big believer in the smaller omelet pan works better. So this one is about an 8.5-inch pan. And the reason why it works better is you really can control the eggs a lot more, and you'll end up with sort of a more fluffier omelet, as you'll see in a minute. So what we want to do is we just want to get those eggs to set a little bit. So the reason we want them to set is because then we are going to start pulling the eggs in towards us and cooking the eggs as it swirls. There are lots of videos here on YouTube about how to cook an omelet. And some of my favorite ones are the ones with Julia Child. If you just search Julia Child makes an omelet, you can find it. And she was really a master. She would crack those eggs and then she would start shaking that pan this way and that way, and that's how she would make an omelet. And sometimes I do like to do that way too, but I also like to do this way because it ends up being a prettier omelet. And if you know anything about me, you know that I like things to look pretty. So that's why I like this technique. Okay, so this is good to go. See how you're starting to see the eggs are cooking? You want to keep that at a low flame. You don't want it to go too high or you're going to end up with one of those real browned omelets. And then we're going to start pushing the eggs in. And see how the eggs start to fill in the gaps where it's not cooked? That's what you want. And what we're doing is creating these sort of curds in the center, which is going to create for a really nice fluffy omelet. So just keep doing that. See, you just want to fill in and just go all the way around. Now it really depends on how you like your omelet. If you ask my husband, he likes a runny omelet, what he calls baveuse, which really means drooly in French. Sort of a funny word. But I really like my omelet cooked. I like a nice dry omelet. So I'm gonna let that cook up a little bit. We're gonna add a little bit of cheese. So I like a cheese omelet because they're so easy. There's no cutting or chopping involved. All you have to do is just add the cheese. Now if you wanted to add a little something more to make it more consistent, you could add some spinach. You just put the spinach on top and it'll wilt as it cooks. That's an easy thing to do. You could add sliced tomatoes, you could add mushrooms, really whatever you like. But cheese is so easy because when people are starting and they're cranky, it comes together really quickly. All right, so this is almost ready. The final step is just to add a little freshly cracked pepper and a little bit of salt. I love that Molden sea salt because they get that big chunks of flakes and it's really good with eggs. Then we're gonna take another spatula, one that is clean and is flat, because that's gonna help us loosen our eggs. You see, so we're gonna wanna loosen that all around the sides. And now here comes the big moment of truth. If you did not butter your pan well, this is where it all falls apart. But hopefully I did, and we'll see. You just wanna shimmy it halfway, half, 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 and then flip. Et voila, perfect omelet. Okay, then to go with the omelet, we're gonna take a little bit of arugula. Now, you guys in some parts of the world will call this rocket, so we know it as arugula, so either one. I like it because the cheese omelet is a very mellow flavor, and the arugula is a nice bite to it. So it's the combination of the mellow cheese and the egg and the bite of the arugula that's so good. And then we're just gonna dress it with a little bit of olive oil and some freshly cut lemon. Now the lemon can be overpowering, so you just want a few drops. 1, 2, 3, that's all you need. And then you can save this for your water bottle when you go off to work or school. Then we're gonna add a little bit of salt and a little bit of pepper. There you have it, my friends. Dinner in probably less than 6 minutes. So the next time you're really starving and you need something to cook up fast, don't turn to that microwavable meal. Think of an omelet instead. All right, I'll see you again soon. Bye.